Myself Raj, welcome to Raj Online Trainings. In the series of Java Complete Placement course, in the last video we have seen about data types and we have seen some important points on data types. Today let us move to the next concept here, that is typecasting. What is this typecasting is like? Converting from one primitive data type into another primitive data type, or converting from one reference data type into another reference data type. So converting from one primitive to another primitive or one reference to another reference is called as typecasting. And we are having two types of casting. They are implicit casting. We are having implicit casting and explicit casting. Let us initially go with implicit casting, and we are going to see this casting for primitive type, and we'll discuss how to go with this casting for reference type once we start with object-oriented programming. So in today's video, we will be seeing this casting concept for primitive type. What are primitive data types? Like int, float, char, double. These are primitive data types. And in Java, we are having 8 primitive data types. What they are? Byte, short, char, int, long, float, double, and boolean. Right? Now let us understand this implicit casting. What is implicit casting is converting lower data type into higher data type. Converting lower data type into higher data type. How to know which is lower, how to know which is higher is by seeing the sizes. By seeing what? The sizes. So what are the sizes we are having for byte? How much memory it's going to occupy? 1 byte. 1 byte. Short, 2 bytes. Character, 2 bytes. For integer, 4 bytes. For long, 8 bytes. For float, 4 bytes. For double, 8 bytes. Right? So we have to see the sizes here. So in this example, byte is lower than short. Integer is lower than double. Short is lower than long, like this. So we have to see the sizes. So which is lower, which is higher. Like example, if you take a short s equal to some 35, we want to convert into long. Now, so what is the size of short? 2 bytes. I want to convert into long. Long is 8 bytes. So lower to higher, the conversion will happen automatically. Now, if you print the value of s, then what is the value of x will be 35. One more example. If you take integer n equal to some 245, we want to convert into double. So integer is 4 bytes, double 8 bytes. So lower to higher, the conversion will happen automatically. So if you print the value of d now, the value will be 245.0.0, because since double comes under as floating type, it's going to add a decimal point .0. One more example. If you take character c equal to capital A and we want to convert into integer. So character is 2 bytes, integer 4 bytes, lower to higher, the conversion will happen automatically. Now if you print the value of n, since it's of type integer, it's going to display 65. This 65, we call it as unique code of character A. Unicode of character A. Right? There. So one small point, Unicode are like ASCII codes only. If you take the programming languages like C or C++, supports ASCII codes. And we are having totally ASCII codes for 255 symbols. And coming to Java, .NET, PHP, Python supports Unicodes. And we are having Unicodes for 65536 symbols. So this one is 256 symbols. This one 65536 symbols. And remember, ASCII codes are subset of Unicodes. So whatever the ASCII codes we are having for this 256 symbols, that will remain same for Unicode also. This 65 we can even call it as ASCII code or Unicode here for this character. Now, coming to the next one, explicit casting. Explicit casting. Now, so what is this explicit is like? Converting higher data type into lower data type. Converting higher to lower. Like example, if you take long x equal to some 100, we want to convert into byte. So long is 8 bytes. Byte is 1 byte. So higher to lower we are trying to convert. This will go with error. This goes with error. Right? Then how to convert now? My requirement is to convert long to byte here. Then the syntax is we have to say like this. Byte be equal to, in parenthesis we have to mention. In parenthesis we have to mention what type you want to convert and say here x here. So this mentioning the type you want to convert explicitly, that's the reason the name has come explicit casting. It won't convert automatically. Now if you print the value of b, it will be 100. One more example. If you take double, d equal to some 45.5. We want to convert to short. This will go with what? Error. This goes with error because double is 8 bytes, short is 2 bytes. So higher to lower conversion not possible. So that's the reason it goes with error. Then how to convert? We have to say here short s equal to, in parenthesis we have to mention short and say d here. Now the value of s will be only 45. It takes only the decimal part. Fraction part will be ignored. One more example. If you take integer n equal to 65, we want to convert into character. This will go with error. And how to convert? Character c equal to, in parenthesis we have to mention say char and say n. Now the value of c will be, for this Unicode or ASCII code 65, what is the character representation? Capital A. Right? One more good example. If you take float f equal to some 35.5, this will go with error. So we know that float can store a value with a decimal point. In Java, it goes with an error. The reason is, in Java, a value with a decimal point, is double data type. It's what type? Double type. So this is double type. So double is what? 8 bytes. We are trying to assign to float, which is 4 bytes. Higher to lower conversion, that is not possible. That's the reason we get error. And the solution is, you can say float f equal to, apply the casting like float and say 35.5. Or we can even say float f equal to 35.5 and with small f or capital F. So when we are giving the value to float, we have to end with what? Either small f or capital F. Even when you are going with long also, for giving value to long, we generally end with small n. When you go with long, we end with what? Small n. It's a suggestion one. Right? Now, let me show all these things practically. Let me show one of the example practically. Let me open Visual Studio Code, create a new file. Let me take typecasting.java. Now, go with the main method. Here let us initially see implicit casting. Implicit casting. Like example, if you take short s equal to some 25, we want to convert into long. We want to convert into long. Then if you print the value of x here, then see when we run, we are going to get 25. See, automatically it's converting. Now, coming to explicit casting. Explicit casting. If you take double d equal to some 35.5, we want to convert into integer. We want to convert into integer. See, it's going with error. See the error message, type mismatch, cannot convert from double to integer. So this goes with error. Then what we should do? Apply the explicit casting. You can say integer n equal to, in parenthesis we have to mention integer and say d. Now if you print the value of n, it will be what here? It will be only 35. Here in this case, the value is 25. Here in this case, it will be 35. It takes only the decimal part. Fraction part is ignored. So when we run, we get only 35 here. Right? So this is implicit and this value is explicit. Right? So please practice this. That's about typecasting, and we'll see typecasting related to reference type once we enter into object-oriented programming. Please subscribe, like and share. Thank you.